all right, with the transfer portal, everyone in mom has access to it now. You get put in the portal. So how it works is student athlete has to give notification of transfer. How that happens is they have to give written notification. They contact their compliance department. They email them. Departments have different processes, but pretty much they email the compliance department and say, hey, my name's, Tristan Reeves. I want to transfer. I want to be put in the transfer portal. Let me know the next steps. Thanks. The compliance department and the university coaches have 48 hours, NCAA mandate, 48 business hours to put that person in transfer portal, or they are charged with like a violation, meaning we get dinged, we get in trouble, like there are, stuff that comes after that. So we put you in the portal, you put in your information, your name, your email, your academic, you give us the okay, put in your academic information, let them know how many seasons you use, blah, 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 blah. So then you go into the magic portal, right? And everyone thinks like, that means, I'm going to get recruited. There's so many people in that portal. I wish I would have looked it up before I got on here. Like, there are so many thousands and thousands of people in that transfer portal. So then you get put in the portal. Now at that time, because before you get put in the portal, you can't contact another institution. Another institution can't contact you because that's considered tampering. Because you're still, with your current school. So when you get put in the portal, you can then start contacting, other schools, and other schools can start talking to you as well. That's when all of that opens up. So instead of them sending a letter saying this is my release or whatever, you're just in the portal. And usually you get an email confirmation saying that you've been put in there. Anything, let me know what else you want to know about it. So the restricted part. So yes, coaches can still say, restricted from being contacted by, so you get put in the portal, you can't get contacted by Texas, Memphis, or whatever. They still have to abide by that because that's still a restriction. Like that's still something they can do. A lot of times it's because it's within conference and interconference transfer rules come into play as well. So they say like, okay, no AAC schools. No AAC schools can't recruit you because at that point you would have to sit out a year still if you were to go there. Like those penalties aren't lifted. Where people get in trouble is we're freshmen, and I think a lot might happen with this class. They didn't get to make a visit. Like they didn't get to go on campus. They don't know the feel of everyone. So they go there for a semester, then they want to leave, right? Well, you sign an NLI, you're still under your NLI contract. So now you still, need a waiver, or you need to get released from your NLI before you can move forward or get aid as well. So that's what's impacted. Once you're in the transfer portal, at the end of each semester, the institution, the coach, has the decision to cancel your aid. So if you decide to go in a portal, over Christmas break, that's where the 48 hours get real like iffy because it's not business hours anymore because everyone's on Christmas break. But compliance departments are usually pretty good. Ours was, so we still put them in a timely manner because we understand you're trying to go somewhere else mid-year, right? But, just you go into the portal during Christmas break, well, your aid's going to be canceled for, the spring semester, whether you decide to come back or not because you didn't go anywhere. We can, by legislation, we can take your money. If you go into the portal, second day of school, we can't cancel it because it's not the end of the term. So you essentially screwed your school over and you're just going to milk them for your money, which I just don't like that out of respect. Like that's malicious in my opinion. I encourage people to have a conversation with their coaches first. A lot of times, like they won't cancel your aid. Sometimes it just depends on your relationship as well. So you go in, second day of school, I want to transfer. We gotta put you in if we tell you to have a conversation with your coach first so you don't hear it from compliance just to not taint that relationship that much. And granted, some people kind of already know what's gonna happen and what they're feeling. But like you go in that second day of school, then we're obligated to keep you on aid unless break team rules or break whatever contract that's already in place. Unless you're like failing out of school or something like that, like that's when that the school gets burnt is, hey, like, dang, I just, they only have so many scholarships for a sport. They think everyone has all these scholarships everyone does it. All the sports are different, right? So like, dang, like I don't have a scholarship. I could have used that to get someone else mid-year, but I have to pay this person scholarship out, for 6 more months. And they're not competing for me. So I lost a spot and I can't replace it. So like now I'm stuck as well. So those are like pros and cons, give and take of the transfer portal with my role. I kind of said it. The approach that I go, and that goes into making sure you're developing a good relationship with your student athletes, right? It's like, hey, like talk them through the process. Does this make sense? You might want to stick it out through, this semester so that you keep like if you know you're not going anywhere else, right? You want to test the waters, but you're trying to do this like, 2 weeks, like right during spring break, like, hey, like be sure you want to do this. Cause if you think you're gonna come back, just wait, see if you can make it through spring ball first to see if you like this new coaching staff, or to see like, hey, like maybe I can, do something else or change the mind, or at least like get workout in to stay in shape. Because if you're not in shape, like who's gonna want you if you're not in shape, right? Like have that conversation and kind of bring it back to reality. Like, okay, is this what you really want to do? If you want to transfer after this point, that's fine. But I want to make sure you're not at home without any food because you don't have any money or you can't pay your rent. Right. So those are things that some people don't think about because of the timing of it as well. Like, okay, I'm going to go into the portal. Okay, but what are you going to do? Are you going to go back home and do what? No, I'd rather you come. Like, are you going to just like not finish your degree? I'd rather you come back, like, so that you can, one, get your grades up to leave eligible so you can go somewhere else. Two, stay in shape, get in shape and use the facilities. And three, so you can have a place to live and you can have food to eat. Those are some things that people don't think about. I'm just going to do this, that, and that. Granted, depending on the situation, that might not even matter. And depending on the person as well. Other things, if it's a high profile person that's going into the transfer portal, before we put them in, we let the SIDs know, like we let, the sport administrator know, like, so that they can get ahead of the blocks. Cause there's like passwords have been leaked. So if it gets out first, we can be like, our folks can be ahead of it and no one's blindsided by it, so that our departments aren't like bombarded by a whole lot of stuff that's just happening and blindsided. That's just one thing out of respect that we do.